Welcome back, guys. So, today we're back in the newsroom, 45 News Utah. Looks like I'm going to get my other studio back here pretty quick. So, no telling what day that's going to be. It's probably going to be in the next couple days. Now, it's going to be loud because the air conditioning unit, we are under a heat wave right now. So, the AC has to run even though this is downstairs. Just to clear that all up with you guys. Not very professional. I understand that. I get it, and I'm sorry. I apologize, but I have to tell you the truth to the best of my knowledge. Remember, this entire cast is to the best of my knowledge. This should be treated maybe informational, mainly entertaining, for entertainment. I just wanted to put that as a disclaimer. If I do make an error, it is not on purpose. It is not mis, dis, or false information. It is just a simple mistake. It should be disregarded at the soonest point from your memory banks. So let's move right along to Russia Today Television. This station is funded mostly or partly by the Russian government. Remember, we are in a war with Russia at this time. All of NATO, it's all about fighting Russia and Ukraine. So let's get into the news, shall we? Russia Today says Biden backtracks on threat to America. So Biden, the fourth horseman of the apocalypse, it opens up the fourth seal with his blood-red background as two Marines standing in the darkness behind him, has backtracked on calling all the Make America Great, America First voters for Trump or supporters of the former President Donald Trump enemies of the democracy. He has now backtracked off the most divisive speech ever given by a president in modern history. Now you say, Trump said this about the left. He never said that the left radicals are a threat to what he's calling the democracy of America, which is actually a constitutional republic. Joe Biden said that in his speech. Down deep, we're a democracy. Democracies are failed. 51% mob rule. Talked about that before. Looks like he's backtracked, said he's not talking. He's talking about those that perpetuate violence. Now, the violence at January 6th insurrection was nothing compared to Antifa, BLM, the attack at the Trump rallies on people that were expressing their political opinions by going to a rally were physically attacked. I have video, and I see video. Anyway, I don't have the actual rights to it, but I've seen it. So you guys can watch for yourselves. They were beating up Trump supporters. People who supported Trump. It was complete terroristic acts by Antifa, BLM. This is reverse world, upside down world, and it's all reverse psychology perpetuated on all of you, including Antifa, BLM, for their profits. Never forget that. They don't make rules and laws or instigate any of this stuff unless it's for their benefit and for their theft. All that Federal Reserve money going out, they want full control of it. That's your future tax dollars. Yeah. So anyway, just saying, the worst speech, the most divisive Civil War speech, the call to war, was perpetuated by the fourth horseman of the apocalypse as he stood in front of his blood-colored background. It is what the devil would be standing there telling you, too, by the way. You pick out 75 million Americans as a threat to the democracy. That's what the devil would do. Anyway, on to brighter news. Ukraine nuclear plant targeted again. The Russians are holding this nuclear power plant in Ukraine, and somebody's bombing it, but the Russians are inside of it, so maybe they're bombing themselves. Don't know. Guess until you're there, you don't know. Especially with MSN, mainstream media can't believe anything they're saying because they work for the kleptocrats and the global overlords that enslave the world's population, suck resources, and destroy unity. U.S. approves weapons sales to Taiwan. That's a way to do it. Okay, just saying. Ukraine admits shelling area around nuclear power plant. So is all of mainstream media going to be charged with fake, disinformation, malinformation? Crickets. Kind of like the Hunter Biden laptop and the Russian propaganda, or the Russiagate, or the Steele dossier, or Dozier, or all that neat stuff that was coming out. Hillary Clinton and all that against Donald Trump. All fake disinformation. Nothing. How about that Mark Zuckerberg admitting that the FBI was involved in holding back valuable voter information about the Biden laptop, Hunter Biden laptop, that was actually real, that wasn't Russian information. Magically happened. Speech right after. Nothing. Left anybody? Stormtroopers? You guys all good? Not a sound? Okay. Well, remember the Empire will throw you in the furnace too. So, it's a good idea. Just a little tidbit of fact for all those fighting for the Empire. The Chiricahua Apache were going against the United States Army and most of the Mexican Army. And during the Geronimo campaigns, the entire U.S. Army faced the worst casualty they ever faced against an enemy in the field. It was against Geronimo and the 60 to 100 Chiricahuas. And guess what happened to the Chiricahua scouts that led the general, I think it was Crook, to Geronimo's hideout, a stronghold. They went to prison in Florida for 5 years, just like Geronimo and the Renegades. Crickets? Yeah, okay, well, keep fighting for the Empire. You know, got to throw on those pony soldier coats and just ride in there and charge and say, look down there, General Custer. Whole line of teepee villages down there. We caught them napping. Where did the policies of the United States government go after that? To seize the land, take the children, put them in boarding schools, cut their hair, and destroy their heritage. You gotta think about that. Just for a minute. Just a tidbit of history. And who was Russell Means actually talking about? That was the ones they were actually fighting during the American Indian movement. Crickets, FBI. Yeah. Federal Bureau of Intimidation. Yeah, that happened. That happened. That happened. Wounded E2. Look it up. Russell Means, American Indian movement. Yeah. Okay, let's moving on. So stay fighting for that empire. Stay fighting for that democracy. That's the way to do it. Don't open your mouth, say the wrong thing. Because, you know, you're fighting for the empire. You used to root for the good guys, Star Wars and stuff. You know. But you know, I understand you guys. I get it. You know, they got to wash the brain. Just wash the brain. Just keep washing it. But those Republicans, they're trying to stop gay marriage and free speech, and they're the ones that. Okay, they're the ones that. Okay. So let's elect the people that actually stop free speech. Let's elect the people that actually do instigate riots. That Maxine Waters. Listen to what she says. Nancy Pelosi, all of them, back in riots in the street, burning buildings, attacking people, punch them in the face. Violent begets violence. See how that works? Who's instigating violence? Calling 75 million Americans a threat to our democracy. Nothing. Not a peep. Really? The 80 million people or whatever voted for Joe Biden are a threat to our republic. How's that sound now? Does that feel good? Does that feel good? Call that Operation Preparation H. Yeah, the Joe Biden voters are a threat to our constitutional republic. And I could be like the president, get up there and say that to a bunch of people that are getting sucked, getting fleeced with all their wealth. And all the money's coming out left and right. They're headed for the worst debacle in history. Gas shortages, fuel shortages, out of control inflation, apocalyptic nuclear war possibility with Russia any moment. Nothing. They're not pleasing you. Because if I said that as the President of the United States, or if I started the Golden Eagle Party, which I have somewhat started, and came to power and got up there and said, all the Biden voters and the Biden representatives, the people that are backing Joe Biden or the Democratic Party, are a threat to our constitutional republic. It'd be war on the streets. War on the streets. Lindsey Graham told it off. If you arrest Donald Trump, you're going to have riots and stuff. Yeah, well, hello. When you have a nation that's severely divided, you say it's Trump that's divided us, but then yet you have this clown standing there with in Clown World, the dumpster fire behind him and blood in the background. He's telling you that 75 million Americans are the threat to the democracy, not thermonuclear war, Russia, China, or the Taliban. Now it's those white national terrorists, those white extremists. They're the threat to democracy. Skin color, which is racism. He said that before. They said it's white nationals. Mayorkas, all of white nationalists. White nationalists. Off-white, what do we do about that? In the middle, maybe 6 different races, ethnicities. Are they Caucasian or are they Anglo-Saxons? Are they from the Caucasus region or are they from Ireland and the Anglos? That area up there, the north or the south. Which hemisphere is the white people? Or are they from the Middle East, Assyria, that's considered Caucasian? Iranians, pretty much considered all lumped into Caucasians, which is a smaller minority than most. If you really do the demographics, they're a smaller minority. Native Americans at the bottom. Northern Native Americans, we are the lowest minority, smallest minority in the country. Even with quarter bloods, eighth bloods, 1/16ths, 1/32, we still don't make up a big enough demographic, except the state of Oklahoma, possibly New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, depending where you're located. So let's pick on the bigger demographic we can go after. The white nationalists. The white people that believe in America first. Off-white people believe in America first. Nothing? What about Hispanic people? Latin people? That believe America first. Are they not terrorists, Joe? You know, I'm trying to wrap my head around this. Who's a terrorist? Who should we be battling? Because we're in perennial war. The Democrats are back in. First, it was the Republican you call George Bush's that weren't Republicans. They're just shills for the deep state, the kleptocratic Decepticons that rule the world, that stole all the pandemic money. $1 billion bill. No, and it goes right back up to their buddies and their investments and all that. But who's the enemy now, Joe? Democrats? What's going to happen? Where are we at here? Is it the nationalists? So it's Americans, people that believe in America? Or do you have to be like white, but you have to hate yourself? Because I distinctly remember another ethnicity that you stole all of North America from. You lied, you broke every treaty. You sent your soldiers after. You hunted down anyone that would not submit to the reservation, would not go to government food programs, that would not surrender their way of life, that wouldn't give up their children for boarding schools. Like the great Russell Means said, I can be anything I want but an American Indian. It's just mind-boggling. What was it Russell Means said? All policies, they have perfected. This government, this entity, was perfected on an American Indian reservation. Crickets? Crickets. This is how they roll. You guys can fight. You can go after those mega Republicans. There's a mega Republican. Get him. He's a threat to our democracy. Is that the battle cry you're going to say when this country implodes? And you're eating your dogs. Then when you're done eating your dogs, you'll eat people. Because that's what happens when this country implodes. Because believe me, our enemies will tear us apart. They will come in here and they'll show this woke mob what it's like to be a PLA soldier. What they will do to you. Because once this country breaks down the middle, all the stuff these kleptocrat Decepticons on the right and the left have done will come. They'll be levied on you, and you'll be the MAGA. The problem is these other countries you don't understand. They don't care about your feelings. You are at the threat of thermonuclear war every day of your life, as it is. distracting from the dumpster fire, causing internal civil division, possibly igniting a civil war by the rhetoric of a president that answers to a leftist regime that has already called for blood in the streets. Fact check, you can check that out. Maxine Waters. Get up in their face, get on them. The riots were supposedly peaceful, mostly peaceful, burning buildings, attacking Trump supporters. They never disconnected themselves from the violence that happened. Fact check that. Or maybe your fact checking won't matter in the future because this country has been divided and will now slip into civil war. Where's the spark? Well, if I was the enemy of the United States and I was sent back there and I was Russian, and I was like, man, we're in a battle going on here. We've lost 80, 100,000 people, men, equipment blown to pieces. We're fighting NATO. We're fighting everybody. We're in a fight for the end. What do? Do we nuke them? Maybe not yet. Let's just cause internal civil division to the point where they just blow themselves up. Brother against brother. Believe me, if the Civil War starts, it's going to be escape from LA in every major city across America. That's what it's going to be. Joe Biden, by calling it, even if he backtracks it, even if he does, this is fact. Every action, there's an equal or greater reaction. That's Darwin's theory, and that is factual. So by the actions of his speech, talking to a radical group that's screaming, Orange Man bad, America sucks, burn the place down, that has a militant wing called Antifa and BLM, has he started the next civil war inside America? A democracy versus a constitutional republic, because there have been screams to eliminate the Constitution as an old, outdated document. Those of you on the left, he has caused, and his party and his group and all the above have caused massive hyperinflation. Okay? They've risen the national debt up to $30 trillion. They have extorted the American people during a pandemic. They passed out trillions to their buddies. Okay? Crickets? Not seeing it yet, are you? What happens when the money runs out? Let's just say you're a crook and you know you can get that last $1 trillion out of a bunch of innocent, pure-minded people, impressionable people. You'd get the last $1 trillion before it's too late. The gas prices, the fuel prices, the food crisis is going to hit. There isn't enough fertilizer. That's been cut back by you-know-who. And the war on global climate change. Check it out for yourself. It's been hampered. They've even hampered everything as far as industry and resources by out-of-control fuel prices that have made their buddies extremely rich, pushing this agenda. What's next? Let me check my crystal ball. Yeah, it's not looking good for the world. Yeah, it's not looking good. The UK right now is in dire straits. They're telling the Russians they have to cap their petroleum prices. Cap the Russian. We have to put a cap on the price of Russian fuel now to save the world. Russia shuts the fuel off, like they're doing and they have done. Nord Stream 1's shut off. Hold on to your shorts. It's about to get real bumpy. Just like the farmers that are protesting, you guys don't hear about in Europe. Let's not worry about that. Let's go to Eurasian Union eyes creating industrial park in Cuba. Eurasian Union. Why would they want to build industrial park in Cuba. Let's move to where the resources are because these crazy lunatics has caused the price of everything to go through the roof. So let's go to where the resources are. This is where mankind starts scrambling for what limited resources are there because they take away the advantage of technology that might be dirty that has allowed mankind to perpetuate the populations it has and to make the kleptocratic Decepticons at the top, global thieves, extremely rich. That's including the oil companies. The big reverse psychology on all of you. And all the money they put in the Green New Deal. That's to be subsidized to do anything. And California's enjoying that right now. Don't plug your EV in an electronic vehicle because there's not enough power. Guess what? It's going to slap everybody in the face real quick. It's coming. Is civil war possible in modern day America? Yes. Prior to the Civil War, 1850s, I believe 60s, they were saying it's never going to happen. COVID pandemic, never going to happen. War with Russia, never going to happen. We signed that, we broke down the wall, we brought down the wall. Never going to happen. Donald Trump, never going to get elected, never going to happen. Joe Biden, Lion Biden of the 80s, you can look it up for yourself, watch all the videos. Lion Biden, he's the President of the United States. That's how desperate the left was to get the kleptocratic Decepticon career politician in charge to bring about a new agenda and to destroy this country and make the world a democracy where 51% mob rule rules. And then it's just number games. You have the highest population, you win. Everybody else has to suck a fish. Court levels, what FBI took. Yeah, reveals what FBI took from Mar-a-Lago. Who cares? Classified, declassified. Declassified, back to classified. See the connection? And the National Archives doesn't really need to be something to rate a former president's residence over whatever. Hunger strikes Africans stricken Africans encouraged to eat bugs. Nothing, guys, huh? Where are you guys at on the left? Nothing? Well, that's good, right? That's what the big Decepticon ultra rich were telling all of us we have to eat anyways because of cow farts. Yeah. Hey, anybody? Russian Defense Minister comments on Ukrainian counteroffensive. From what I'm hearing is the Ukrainians have gotten trashed. The Ukrainian military is suffering heavy casualties as it tries to retake territory seized earlier by Russia. I don't see anything happening on mainstream media about the Ukrainians doing this great job. Looks like the Ukrainians are getting their trash kicked. Could that be another reason why the fourth horseman of the apocalypse came on last night with his red background? We got to do something quick. We're losing. $70 billion now sent to Ukraine. $70 billion to be. If they get defeated in the battlefield, what do you do then? Right, Biden? What do you do then, huh? Democrats, just like 2014, what do you do when you get defeated in the battlefield of Ukraine? With $70 billion that went in there. We have no idea where it went. Go check some balances, right? How much does Europe put in there on top of that? And the Lend-Lease. Where's the Lend-Lease? Why do we have to even send them money if they get Lend-Lease? They take all of our military equipment. World War II was the last time we installed that, and he can Lend-Lease. You check it out for yourself. We just lease it to him or lend it to him. The promise he gets paid back, just like what happened with the Great Britain when they were at war with Germany, World War II. We Lend-Lease everything. Nothing? No? Okay. Risk of civil unrest rising globally. It's, yeah, when you want to implement Green New Deal and you cut the resources and you cut the mining and you cut the fertilizer and you cut all this stuff, well, guess what you get? You rise fuel through the roof, make your bodies extremely rich, and scream, save the world at the same time. What do you think you're going to get? When the food shortages are all over the world, farmers are saying we can't grow anything without fertilizer. Wait till they plant this fall. They can't afford the fertilizer. $300 a ton is now $1,000. Nothing? Okay. Okay, well, you know, whatever you guys got going on your heads, you and nuclear watchdogs should be mistrusted by default, Zelensky said. Ukraine's state leaked site celebrates Gorbachev's liquidation. I remember when the wall came down. We were rockers. We were metalheads. We were doing great. We had a way better society than today. Other than this rap ghetto stuff that everybody's listening to, I have to deal with every day and think, wow, devolving is a horrible thing when the population devolves. Yeah, but nothing. But the greatest threat to our democracy is white nationalists, not rap or gangster hoodlumness, or the I want to be a gangster with our children, or the brainwashing of our children so they become left-wing extremists and scream about the environment the entire time they're just bulldozing everything for high-density housing. Factual. They're emptying California out to fill a real estate deal across the West. Thanks a lot, Newsom. Didn't think anybody figured that out yet, right? Who's filling those houses, Newsom? Who's paying that exorbitant amount of money to buy the houses these Californians are leaving and going into the West, destroying the rest of the West, wiping out what was left of us, of the West, the Wild West. Scream and save the planet at the same time in nature, of course. As they ride their bikes, hike, jog, build their gazebos, their housing, their fake lawns, all over the place. I used to see deer. Deer used to live. Elk, rabbits, birds, bugs. Yeah, just nothing. Well, eventually I'll pass away like the rest of the people I've known, and you could just perpetuate the lie and continue and say, just like Geronimo said, I used to bounce around freely through my own country, and now you want us on this little piece of land. It took everything else. There's not enough room for the Apache. Nothing. Well, whatever makes you profit. Like the kleptocrat thefticons buying up all the apartments and causing strife and division and people to suffer to rent a small box to live in. But they can buy that good-looking car and drive around thugging and bumping up and down the street. At one time I thought man was going to be above the animals. What did I get for thinking? Let's go to Fox. Okay, mom abducted. That's okay. Outbreak linked to fast food favorite rips through more states as infection surges. Of course it does. Wendy's E. coli outbreak spread to more states, including New York, Kentucky. CDC says if you're in New York, Kentucky, don't buy it because apparently there's something. So the Dow Jones went down 337 points. NASDAQ was up earlier when I saw it. I couldn't believe it after the fourth horseman of the apocalypse came out and gave his MAGA war speech. That should be like, everybody should be panicking. What, we're at thermonuclear war? We're at the brink of it? Global starvation? Really? Wow, I didn't think we needed fertilizer or affordable fuel to run farms. What? I go to the store, there's stuff on the shelves. That's going to come to an end. This has been a slow mission creep. Okay. Not enough police. Small businesses owners desperate plea to liberal cities after thieves ransack shop. My police in my town, speed by them, have one headlight, tailgate, be an aggressive driver with all the new people I got here. And I'm saying that nicely because, yeah, anybody that's from here will understand where my hometown is. It's a disaster. There is a lot of overprivileged, pandemic-hiding people everywhere. Build their houses so free, running you down the road. How dare you pull out in front of me? Because I own this place. All the enrichment. Well, my deer are in retreat. They're just demolished. The people everywhere. Yeah, I remember nature. They talk to me about nature. I'm going to say, yeah, I remember what it was like. Before they orchestrated the largest migration since the 1980s, which you guys did the same thing then, into rural America and destroyed it. We didn't have much other than wildlands. And now we don't have them anymore because you're all over them. They're not wild anymore. There is a point with too much usage. You don't charge the local people that were here going, wow, razor, trailer, truck, razor, trailer, truck. How they put so many razors on truck? I'm literally just watching going, what do these people do for a living? Up the canyon. I'm like, wow, where did you all come from? Where'd you get all that money from? Oh wait, the fake fiat currency that you've been living on. It's nine. I say it's actually $14 trillion. In my opinion, I've been following since the beginning. You pretty much dumped $14 trillion in the economy. The kleptocrats did, and we went right back to them. But these guys are still living off these big jacked up trucks, boats, trailers, ATVs, razors, riding all over everything. So cool. Got so much money because the fake housing industry that was trumped up and bubbled up for pure profits by the kleptocrat thefticons. I just hope my dear Elkherts survive. That's all I can say. And I get to hunt them again. IRS admits to exposing Americans' confidential data online. What to know? What to know is the IRS is a military wig, I'd call them. They're wicked. They're the worst tax collection agency on the planet. And that's about all I have to say about those people. Judge rules on Steve Banner's request for a new trial after conviction. So the takedown of Trump guys continues. Federal judge on Friday denied the request for Steve Bannon for a new trial more than a month after jurors convicted him of contempt of Congress. Do your research on who didn't show up in Congress. Who's been subpoenaed and never showed up. They're after Steve Bannon. Bannon expected to be sentenced October 21st and face a minimum of 30 days in jail. Well, I guess he shouldn't have been so anti-Trump there. I don't know. Bannon had a lot of chances to do a lot of stuff. But, you know, you can't buck the system because it's a trillions and trillions of dollars of theft, so why would we buck the system? Bill Barr rips Trump's request for special master to review Mar-a-Lago. Bill Barr is about as reputable, good of a reputation as dissolving toilet paper. It dissolves in your hand. That's about as good as what Bill Barr was. Let's see. Yeah, the fentanyl addiction is killing everybody. Just killing people everywhere. Authorities make grisly discovery while apprehending dozens of illegal migrants. Oh, they're actually talking about a little bit of the mass murder on the border in all through Mexico. It's, yeah. I guess maybe the gig's up on the fentanyl. They're going to start covering their tracks. Family reveals country music star's personal struggle before his death at 32. We all have struggles. Remember that Dems spend millions to help pro-Trump candidates win as Biden bashes MAGA. That's not a bash, that was a threat. Biden administration will offer abortion in some cases, even in states where it's outlawed. Okay. Watch Pony beats owner after taking solo flight to, I really care. I don't care. Dave Portnoy demolishes Biden's speech and video rant. He looked like Hitler. I actually put him up there at the four horsemen of the apocalypse, and he's the fourth horseman. Then it opens up the fourth seal, and hell follows with him. I was calling him Pell Rider. But you could take Hitler, Mussolini, and Stalin and put them all together, and you'd have Biden and the rest of his administration. But remember, a lot of times things are on purpose. So is he trying to get kicked out of office for causing strife and division? Is he trying to do that? Well, you stole, so many trillions you can't even see straight for your buddies. Why not put the old man up there and let him babble around, bumble around, and reach out for people that ain't there when he's done speaking, trying to shake their hands just like last night? Is it for show or is it for real? That was a question. That is the real question. Because if it's a show, he's doing a bad job. If it's for real, he's doing a bad job. I've never been for abuse of the elderly, but this is Lion Biden from the 80s, presidential run, and the mockery they made of him, how bad he lied about. You can just look it up for yourself. You guys, the Democrats. There were people, really? Is that how it is? Take away your money, see where you stand in. Okay, Trey Gowdy, Biden's defamation of a good Republican is one that agrees with him. I know, definition. There's so little. Just so little. You guys can see this, but the writing is so small. That's what I'm trying to read off of. That sucks. Especially when you have 48-year-old eyes. You know, I was just young the other day. I was a young man. I was a brave, got stories that you guys would be like, what? And I'd be like, yeah, that really happened. But, you know, getting old, it's hard to read stuff. Not to mention, I just didn't read anyway. The English language is very confusing. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know, whatever. Let's see. Vulnerable Democrats warns mega Republicans will overturn every election they lose after dark Biden speech. He just called all of us that are support America, make America great again, that ever voted for Donald Trump as terrorists, threats to the democracy, and then walked it back today. Like I said, Democrats, you left-wing supporters, are threats to our republic, our constitutional republic. Oh wait, I didn't mean that. I just meant Joe Biden. Nothing? Nothing. See how divisive that is? See how that is? Just check it. It's a no-brainer. It's literally, this is backwardsville. There is every action has equal or greater reaction. As Darwin's theory, this is all actions that were pre-planned. Why did they send him out to say that? Is this the actions of a desperate party, knowing that their hyperinflation and the biggest theft in human history has been perpetuated in the trillions by the Biden administration, and the laptop that was basically that Zuckerberg even came out and admitted on Joe Rogan's show that yes, they told them to censor it with Russian information, which it wasn't. After all the fake Russian scandals and Trump, after they've stole so much money that now money's becoming worthless, they're destroying Europe. The euro is down to dollar, and they're not the reserve currency. England is in trouble financially with hyperinflation because of fuel prices. Natural gas, hello. Germany's in trouble, which should never have been armed, by the way. Anybody that perpetuates that after 2 world wars because of Germans should actually be responsible for that. We don't need a third per Germany. They should never have been in charge of anything. No offense to you Germans, but we don't need another world war. 2 from Germany? No. The rest of you, like France, is cut off. Am I missing something? No, crickets, right? Anyway, thanks for watching. Being cynical is one thing. You know, tit for tat on politics, that's another thing. Warning of doom and gloom and the end of the world, that's completely the other. This is explaining that the Democrats and their dumpster fire is completely out of control. And this is why chaos, evil sows chaos. That's why chaos reigns. That's why it didn't end with Trump. If it was Trump, it would have ended. This is not Trump. This is chaos by the creators of chaos. The big lie, the big deception. The fourth horseman of the apocalypse. That opens the seal. It brings about death. Think about that. With this red background. Who is he trying to be? What was the purpose of that? Once you figure that out, up here, your heart will follow. We see and hear and think through our heart. Don't let that brain fool you. It's your heart that knows the truth. Stop believing the lies. Thanks for watching.